Hello students, welcome to all of you to today's class. In today's class, we are going to read a prose chapter named On Examination. This chapter is being written by Winston Spencer Churchill. So before starting the text, let's focus on the writer. Sir Winston Leonard Spencer Churchill was his full name. He took birth in the year 1874 and died in the year 1965. And he was the Prime Minister of England twice, that is from 1940 to 1945 and 1951 to 1955. A noted statesman and orator, Churchill was also an officer in the British Army, a historian, a writer and an artist. So, these are the extra things which is being focused on Churchill, that he was not only the Prime Minister of England but at the same time he was an officer in the British Army, as well as he was an historian and he was a writer as well as an artist. He was awarded the Nobel Prize in Literature 1953. This is also a GK question, that in the year 1953, Winston Spencer Churchill, then Prime Minister of England, was honoured with the greatest prize in literature, that is the Nobel Prize. At Harrow is an excerpt from Chapter 2, Horror, of Winston Spencer Churchill's autobiography, A Roving Commission, My Early Life, which was published in the year 1930. Okay, so let me tell you something. The chapter that we are going to read, On Examination, this is an extract from the long writing of Winston Spencer Churchill named A Roving Commission, My Early Life. So, this one is his autobiography. Autobiography means what? A life history of a person which is written by himself only. But when the life history of a person is written by someone else, that one is known as the biography. So, this complete chapter is being extracted from the writing A Roving Commission, My Early Life. Okay. So, understood? This is written in the introducing the author. Now, let's read the text. I Churchill. I had scarcely passed my 12th birthday when I entered the inhospitable regions of examination. So, here Churchill had spoken that examination is not a good part of his life, and this was an inhospitable region. It means it was an unfriendly atmosphere that Churchill entered, and mostly just now he has completed his 12th birthday. It means he was 12 plus years old. It means he was just going, means he had just stepped onto his 13th birthday when he entered into the region, means area of examination. And according to Churchill, it was not at all good, because for him examination was not a good thing. Through which for the next 7 years I was destined. Destined means what? I have written the difficult words. If you are getting, you can write it down. Otherwise, while I am speaking, you also can write it down. Through which for the next 7 years I was destined to journey. Destined means he was bound. It was determined that for the next 7 years, means when he completed his 12th birthday, he entered. Definitely he had joined somewhere else. That's why he has to give a series of examination, and for the next 7 years he had to continue his journey. These examinations were a great trial to me, and according to Churchill, these examinations were a great test on him. Means he was feeling as if he had to give a great test because of this examination. The subjects which were dearest to the examiners were almost invariably those I fancied least. Fancied means attracted. So, here listen. Clearly, Churchill has mentioned that he was not good at studies, because normally whenever you are also giving the examination, you do expect that those questions should be there in the examination to which you have done a thorough practice, but it is not happening. So, the same was also the condition of Churchill. He has mentioned that I was destined to journey. These examinations were a great trial to me. The subjects which were dearest to the examiners. Examiners means what? The teachers, the people who were taking the examination. And here Churchill was the examinee. Okay, examiner, examinee. So, and the subjects which were dearest to the examiners were almost invariably those I fancied least. It means the subjects which were liked by the examiners were not liked by Churchill. Means just two sides of a coin. The subjects that Churchill liked was not liked by the examiners, and the subjects that were liked by the examiners were not liked by Churchill. I would have liked to have examined in history. And what was the expectation of Churchill? He was expecting that he should give the examination in subjects like history, poetry and essay writing. So here the question is, what were the subjects that Churchill do like the most? Answer is history, poetry and essay writing. The examiners on the other hand were partial to Latin and mathematics, but which subjects were quite favorable? Means which subjects were quite dear to the examiners? That was Latin subject as well as mathematics, means Latin literature and mathematics. But Churchill was not at all good in these two papers, and their will prevailed. And you know, students are students, teachers are teachers. Whatever the teachers will do in the classroom, it's okay. Yes or no? So here also, no option was being given to Churchill. Neither he was asked that either you like it or not, but the will of the examiner was prevailing. It was remaining the same. It was remaining intact. And Churchill had to give the examination. It was bound for him. Moreover, the question which they asked on both these subjects were almost invariably those to which I was unable to suggest a satisfactory answer. So what was the result? The questions which were asked in the examinations, Churchill was unable to provide a good or a satisfactory answer to those questions. Means the examiners were asking question in the examination, but Churchill was unable to provide a satisfactory answer. I should have liked to be asked to say what I knew, and as a student, Churchill was also expecting the same thing, that he wanted that he should be asked to speak whatever he knows. Okay, means Churchill should be asked, Churchill, come on, you answer this question or answer whatever you know on mathematics. Then Churchill was ready to answer. Understood? Because it is written by Churchill that I should have liked to be asked to say what I knew. He wanted to express his own knowledge irrespective of the questions of the teacher. They always tried to ask what I did not know. And sometimes we are also speaking that that this teacher is partial to me, he is doing partiality, okay, he doesn't like me, that's why he likes my friend a lot. All these things we are also speaking in the classroom when we are students also, and nowadays it is also happening. So the same was the condition of Churchill. Churchill is speaking that the teacher was intentionally asking him those questions to which he was unable to provide a satisfactory answer. When I would have willingly displayed my knowledge, they sought to expose my ignorance, and the result was, when Churchill was having the desire to display, to show his knowledge, the examiners were trying to sort means what? It is the past participle of seek. They were trying to expose the ignorance of Churchill. This sort of treatment had only one result. I did not do well in the examination, and finally what was happening? Churchill was not at all doing good in the examination, because Churchill was unable to answer a single question. He was not at all good, means he doesn't like mathematics and Latin literature. Instead of these subjects, he liked history, poetry and essay writing, but questions from these subjects were not coming, and as a result, Churchill was unable to provide satisfactory answer, and he was unable to do well in the examination. This was specially true of my entrance examination to Harrow. So when he was going to join at Harrow, he had to give an entrance examination, and the same thing has happened. The headmaster, Dr. Weldon, who was the headmaster? Dr. Weldon, however, took a broad-minded view of my Latin prose. But according to Churchill, Dr. Weldon was a teacher, and he was the headmaster at Harrow. He was not having that narrow-mindedness. He was not focusing on what Churchill had written on the paper, but he was little bit broad-minded. Took a broad-minded view of my Latin prose. He showed discernment, means judgment, in judging my general ability. Means according to Churchill, Dr. Weldon was a good teacher, because he was the single person, he was the single teacher in the life of Churchill who was not only focusing on the paper manifestation, he was not focusing on what Churchill has written, but he was focusing what are the general abilities of Churchill. This was the more remarkable because I was found unable to answer a single question in the Latin paper. Suppose you are giving maths exam and you will write down nothing. Will you expect that the teacher will provide you 90 marks out of 100? Definitely not. So what Churchill had done, I was found unable to answer a single question in the Latin paper. In the Latin paper, Churchill was unable to answer a single question only. Means he had to score 0. And I wrote my name at the top of the page. Normally you are getting the page. Here you have to write down your name. Churchill had done the same thing on the top of the page. He did write down his name. Then I wrote down the number of the question. Normally like this you are doing. Suppose this is the page. You are writing down your name. Then you are putting question number. And then I wrote down the question number 1. Then he put the question number. Then how did he write it down? He just give 2 inverted comma, means double inverted comma. After much reflection, I put bracket round this Dutch, and finally he did write down this one. Means he put the question number, okay, then inverted comma, then bracket. This one was written in the answer sheet in his Latin paper. Nothing else was written there. So how could you also expect that Churchill could score good marks? Practically it is not possible because that boy had written nothing except the question number. But thereafter, I could not think anything connected with it that was either relevant or true. And after writing down this one, Churchill was unable to think anything else. Means either it is related to the topic or something which is true to the topic. He was unable to find out anything. So what did he do? Incidentally, there arrived from nowhere, in particular, a blot and several smudges. What does it mean? It means here it is referring to the drop of tear which was rolling down from his cheek. So when Churchill did write down this much only in his Latin paper, he was unable to answer anything. He was unable to write down anything else. Suddenly he started crying. Tear rolled down from his cheek. Incidentally, there arrived from nowhere, in particular, a bolt and several smudges. I gazed for 2 hours. So as a result, there was tear. Okay, he started crying. Tear rolled down from his eyes and it just crossed the cheek and dropped on the paper. And what happened? There became little bit dirty mark on the paper. I gazed for 2 whole hours at this sad spectacle, and it was a sad sight. Okay, and for 2 complete hours, means 1 hour 20 minutes, Churchill was only looking at the answer sheet. He was doing nothing. And then the merciful users means what? Attendants, the people, the invigilators who were there to invigilate the students, and they will collect the answer sheet. They came, collected my piece of foolscap with all the others and carried it up to the headmaster's table. And then the users came, the attendants came, they carried my answer sheet and then they did give it to the headmaster. It was from these slender indications of scholarship that Dr. Weldon drew the conclusion that I was worthy to pass into Harrow. And here Churchill has mentioned that he has written nothing, but there was tear on the paper. Definitely because of tear the paper is looking little bit dirty, and the headmaster was able to realize something, and what the headmaster realized, it is not mentioned here. Okay, it is the opinion of Churchill only. From this much of writing only, the headmaster was able to understand my ability and he qualified me to join at Harrow. And it is very much to his credit. He showed that he was a man capable of looking beneath the surface of things. And according to Churchill, Dr. Weldon was a very nice person. And he is such a man who is able to see from behind the surface. Means he was not looking at the surface. From under the surface also he can see the things clearly. That I was worthy. It showed that he was a man of capable looking beneath the surface of things, a man not dependent upon paper manifestation, and he was a man who was not depending on what is being presented on the paper. I have always had the greatest regard for him, and for this reason Churchill was having high regards for Dr. Weldon. Okay, so this is all about his entrance at Harrow. Then finally he joined. In consequence of his decision, as a result of the decision of Dr. Weldon, I was in due course placed in the third or lowest division of the fourth or bottom. So look at it, what is written. It is mentioned place in the third or lowest division of the fourth or bottom. It means standard fourth, third section. Okay. So according to Churchill, third section was the section where the boys who are not that much of intelligent, they are enrolled. Okay. And the names of the new boys were printed in the school list in alphabetical order, and as my correct name Spencer Churchill began with an S, I gained no more advantage from the alphabet than from the wider sphere of letter. So here what Churchill has spoken, look, his complete name was Churchill. Okay. So Spencer Churchill, and his name starts with S, but according to Churchill, he did not get any advantage even when his name was starting from S, because it was only wider sphere of alphabets are there, and his name was written at the bottom of the list. I was in fact only 2 from the bottom of the whole school, and what happened? There were a number of students. This is Spencer Churchill, and under him only 2 more students are there. With this means here list was high, then Churchill, then 2 more boys. Okay. And these 2, I regret to say, disappeared almost immediately through illness or some other cause. But what was the problem? These 2 boys were there enrolled in the school, but very soon these 2 boys were also disappeared, means they discontinued their study because of illness or because of some other reason which is not mentioned here. The Harrow custom. Okay, so this was all about his admission and his position in the school. He was always scoring the bottom position because he was not good at studies. The Harrow custom of calling the roll is different from that of Eton. So here 2 schools are being mentioned, Harrow and Eton, and here roll call is also focused. At Eton, the boys stand in a cluster. Cluster means what? Group. At Eton, what were the boys doing? The boys were standing in a group and lift their heads when their names are called. And what were they doing? They were wearing hat and they were lifting their hat when the names are being called. At Harrow, they file past a master in the schoolyard and answer one by one. Understood? So, Eton and Harrow, 2 schools are there. The difference in between the roll call, at Eton, they were raising their hat, but at Harrow, they were standing in a queue and answering to the master, means answering to the person who was calling the rolls. My position was therefore revealed in its lowest, invidious humility. And what was the position of Churchill? Last position. Okay. So here one word is mentioned, invidious humility, on enviable humbleness. What does it mean? Look, suppose there is someone in your class and his father is a very reputed person and the son is also doing very well in the examination. Will not you feel jealous of the boy? Definitely yes. But even when his father is very reputed one, but the boy is the stupidest one in the class, will you feel jealous of him? Definitely not. So the same was the condition of Churchill. Even when Churchill's father was a very reputed, very renowned person, but Churchill's position in the school was not at all good. That's why it was humbleness. At the same time, no one was feeling jealous of Churchill. It was the year 1887. Now, it is mentioned about father of Churchill. It was the year 1887, Lord Randolph Churchill, his father, had only just resigned his position as leader of the House of Commons and Chancellor of the Exchequer. So here what is mentioned, Exchequer means what? Those means the company or the organization, department that manages the public fund. Okay. So Churchill's father was a very reputed person, but in the same year he had resigned from the position, but still even when he did give the resignation, still he was remaining the forefront in politics. In politics he was always remaining at the front. Means a very reputed person, people are having high respect for Churchill's father. In consequence and as a result, look, no one was coming to see Churchill, how he is doing in the school, what is his position. All were coming to school to see Churchill because of the position of his father. In consequence, large numbers of visitors of both sexes used to wait on the school step. And as his father was a very reputed person, so a number of people are coming and they are waiting in the school step Why? They had the desire to see Churchill and to know position and how Churchill is doing at school, because people are also having much expectation on him. In order to see me march by, march means what? The parade. March by, and I frequently heard the irreverent comment, why he's last of all. Irreverent comment means what? Disrespectful remark, and people, so many times Churchill has heard that why he's last of all, because all were expecting that Churchill's father, as he was a reputed person, means he was a reputed man in politics as well as in position in the society. That's why all were expecting that Churchill should hold the same, but it was not happening. That's why people are asking the question again and again, why this boy is always remaining in the last, because it might be possible that the truth of Churchill's educational standard was not known to him. Understood? Okay, so this is your unit 1. Read it. In the next video, I will post unit 2. Thank you. Have a nice time.